This is specifically for the motherfuckers who came out here claiming to represent hip-hop, but really didn't do shit to preserve the value of the fucking art form, the way of life. Hip-hop is a way to live, man. It ain't no institutionalized religion or something. It's a way to live. It's a culture, dog. You know what I mean? You know, so if you ain't really got nothing beneficial to offer this hip-hop shit, preserve the value of the art form, the music, the way of living, don't even fuck with it. We don't need dead weight motherfuckers.
Oh, man. Well, let's see how this goes. I'm gonna do a little stuff one more time. I just want to see how loud it's about to be, because it's about to be interesting, no doubt. Chill for like 10 seconds. Make sure everything's good. And just vibe out, you know? It's like I'm on my own timing and I don't even know, but I know. So to know that you don't know is still knowing, been knowing, never slowing. Boat keeps rowing, shit keeps flowing. What is this? The one and only Cody's Corner. Hello everybody and welcome officially to Cody's Corner. My week by week hot takes on who's going to take the W in the sports you're worried about. Man, I got a lot to say, man. And as always, you know, I got to take my headphones off. Just for hell's sake, got to take a little sip, you know. Some good old Pepsi. Just for the record, Pepsi's better than Coke. No one asked, but I had to tell you. Dave is not here today again. Unfortunately, he's living it up in Mexico right now. So shout out to him, man. Hope he's having a good time. We're going to take a dive into, pretty quick, I'm going to try and fly through this as fast as possible. I know stuff is going on. We got none other than, and I had to, you know, just let the people know really quick. I had to actually wait because I was going to record this episode before Thursday Night Football of Week 3. And something said to me, I don't know, man. Something about these Jets, something exciting might need to happen. And I'm going to need to talk about it as soon as possible. So before I get into nothing else, I don't know if it's weird to clap by myself, but I'm going to clap up the New York Jets for handling business on Week 3, Thursday Night Football. Aaron Rodgers returned to MetLife. They're talking about it all over the radio. They're talking about it all over online. He's looking like he's back. He's mobile. He's being accurate. He's calling audible plays. He's doing his thing, man. And honestly, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Aaron Rodgers was my favorite player of all time before he was on the Jets. So it's a different environment between having to understand that not only Jet fans are watching these games, he has fans worldwide, all over, because no matter where you were at, they were watching him in Green Bay, and he was killing it. I'm just going to throw it out there. Alongside here, there are some abnormally loud crickets that you might hear on the other side of this wall. So while I'm talking, if it gets a little quiet and you hear like a krr, krr, now you know. But there was no crickets at that Jets game. I'm not going to hop into Week 3 just yet. I got a recap of Week 2. Going to just walk you over the numbers for Week 2. Jump into some fantasy. Then we're going to get into Week 3, what I think is about to happen. And then a prediction about fantasy for Week 3. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. I'm going to start this video. Click on that. Let's make it. We can make it this whole part of the screen right here. Let's see. There you go. There it is right there. All right. 3, 2, 1. So we're taking a look right now at Week 2 on how things went. I'm going to try and not dive too much into it. I know it's already for you guys going to be Saturday. You've been hearing about Week 2 all week long, so I'm not here to tell you everything that happened on Week 2. I'm just going to try and tell you these 3 little points I got for you. Who needs some milk? Who surprised me the most? and who needs to make a change fast going into week 3. So if we're taking a look at this right here, obviously nobody expected to happen to Tua what happened to Tua. It's really unfortunate. I heard as of right now he's on the IR for the next 4 weeks. For those who don't know, he suffered a concussion. This would be, I believe, his 4th, if not 3rd, and the 4th one kind of wasn't really registered by the medical staff. It's looking like his 4th or 5th concussion while he's in the NFL. 3 in NFL, 2 in college. Who knows how many he had in high school. But it's not looking too amazing for Tua Tagovailoa. I wish him a speedy recovery. Personally, if I'm not going to lie to nobody, Miami fans, it's not because he's in my division. I think that that's a dangerous thing. Personally, myself, and I never would wish this experience upon anyone. Oh, sorry, throat was getting a little dry. I've had 4 concussions myself. And those were in high school. So I couldn't imagine the impact that an NFL contact concussion would do to the person's body. I think he should retire. I think that he should, and it's not as easy as it sounds, right? But I can't tell you how someone else will feel. I can only tell you how I feel. I think he should retire, settle with that guaranteed $125 million, and keep supporting his family and doing what he does. I know it's hard to walk away from the one thing that you put all that time, effort, and energy into for the majority of your life. So I'm not going to act like I know what it is, but I just wish the best upon someone's safety as a human, more so than on or off the field, because I would rather him be there for his family. But that's neither here nor there. I just want to put it out there that praying for a speedy recovery from Tua Tagovailoa. A team that needed some milk this week, if we're looking at this screen right in front of me, I can't go with the Giants. I picked the Giants last week. It's the story of the town, but I'm going to say it. The Carolina Panthers are going through it. I mean, everybody knows they're announced that they're going to start Andy Dalton come week 3. They decided to bench Bryce Young. Andy Dalton was a good quarterback in his moment. His life with the Cincinnati Bengals before Joe Burrow was really his prime, and he wasn't a bad quarterback at that time. He sits comfortably as a backup QB right now. Maybe that changes up the scheme of the offense. I don't think that Bryce Young is to blame. I think that that's putting a Band-Aid on something that needs stitches, if I'm being realistic. You got a bunch of stuff going on. Oh, and just because I reminded myself, David is not here, but I have some talking points that he wanted me to bring up from beyond. So let me just click on that real quick. And we're talking about NFC South, so we can get into it. Which division in the NFL has been a pleasant surprise? Aside from the Panthers, I'd have to say it's the NFC South, man. And the Saints are the team that surprises me right now. Everybody thought that they played the Panthers last week, and that was the reason they went so crazy. And then they show up, and they do that same exact thing to Dallas. Let me pull up New Orleans stats really quick. Shout out ESPN. Got 11 for 16, 243, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Derek Carr is Derek Carring right now. Like I said, and you guys already know, never really had a lot of faith in dude, but I have a whole lot of respect for how he's pushing this team forward, how they're advancing, the coaching, everything. It looks like they're checking off all boxes, clicking on all cylinders, so I'm really glad they're doing well. Who needs to make a change right here, right now? Honestly, I'm going to say the Rams, and it's not necessarily Sean McVay's fault. I'm going to say that injuries look like they're riddling the core of their offensive scheme in Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. A lot of people are speculating that Matt Stafford might get traded. I'm not sure if he will. If anything, I think that he's like their last glimpse of hope for making any type of push. It's kind of ironic. I feel as though right now he's fitting the team as he was fitting the Lions when he was in Detroit, because he could still ball. I don't care how old he is. I still think that Matt Stafford has never not been nice in the NFL. And I don't think they're going to let him go until someone else gets healthy, because I wouldn't call what they're going to do a full rebuild. Like, if they traded him away and then the Rams decided that they wanted to be a competitive team, it's not really a rebuild if you still have arguably 2 of the top 20 receivers in the NFL. I don't know. That doesn't make... Maybe that's just me. Their defense isn't that great, but I don't know. They have something going on. I would compare them to Minnesota at full health, but that's neither here nor there. I think that everything's going well, man. It didn't surprise me that Washington beat New York, and it didn't surprise me that the Chargers did Carolina like that. Let me try and see what surprised. It didn't surprise me that Kansas City and Cincinnati had a shootout. I'm gonna say this because it's something else David put there. Kyler Murray. Oh my God! Can we click on Arizona really quick? 17 for 21, 266 yards, 3 touchdowns. Now, Marvin Harrison Jr. just alone, 4 catches, 130 yards for 2 touchdowns. Me and David were preaching that Kyler Murray's overrated. And as we saw in a post that I actually sent on Instagram, the stat, I don't want to misquote who, CBS Sports, how big is your CBS? You got the only QB this season so far, given it's week 2, but the only one so far that has thrown 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions is Kyler Murray. So you're dealing with someone who looks like maybe the people are right. Maybe he's coming off a second year off that bad injury that crippled him. Maybe they're trying to turn something around over there, and maybe they have the pieces to do so. 41-10, they took out the Rams. I don't care what game it is. I don't care if it was a close game. Any game that touches 40, your team touches 40 whatever points. I don't care if the other team has 39. You had a good game that week offensively. No one can take that from you. Now, if any team gave up 40 points, I'd say defensively, you probably had a bad game. You know, it's just one of those things. It's way too high in either direction to say that it wasn't an extremity of some sort. So, big ups to Kyler Murray. And we're going to keep on moving along here. Let me see what else I got here, if I got anything else. All right, another pleasant surprise because I just saw that right there. Sam Darnold. I want all eyes right here. I'm going to take all this away. All eyes right here. I had to say this. I've been preaching this since day one. QB development is not the Jets' strongest suit. You know what? It's my team. They won. I want to give them their flowers, and I'm going to. But I got to remind the people that I know what I'm talking about. The Jets are not good at developing quarterbacks in the system. Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson. Oh, man, what's his name? It's going to kill me. Tim Tebow. You feel me? And regardless, he had his own stuff going on. He tried to play baseball, tried to come back as a tight end. We got him so confused. We made him jump to the wrong sport. I think that Woody Johnson has enough to pay a quarterback that is nice. But I don't think they've put the structure into place to develop someone into who they should be. Or who they may be. Who they could be. Who they would be given the opportunity. I think this is why, and I'm going to talk way more into the Jets' future in the Week 3 talk, but overall, doesn't surprise me. It's interesting, man. Sam Darnold really is surprising me, and I am so excited to play them on October 6th, the London game. So, 17 for 26, 268 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Everybody saw that 98-yard touchdown. You know, I'm going to count to 3. Maybe I'll throw the clip right here. 1, 2, 3.
And his impact so far on the Viking defense, 2nd down 9. Darnold getting messy, going deep, and he's got Jefferson. It's a foot race downfield with Brown. Shifting gears, getting a block. That's 6.
So you can see that Sam Darnold isn't playing any games with him right now. And I'm excited to see what that looks like. Ironically enough, I'm going to talk more about the future as I get there. But very interesting week in football. a lot of divisional matchups, a lot of opportunity to see exactly what these teams are forming up to be. Truthfully, I don't think you can give a proper estimation on where a team is going to be until like week 6 or 7. Excuse me. But it is good to see where teams are at. Obviously, if your team is 1-1, don't be worried. If your team is 0-2, don't be worried. If your team is 2-0, that's good, but don't get too comfortable, as Future would say. So I think that we're good on that. We could go a little bit into the fantasy leaderboard now. This one's a little harder. I'm 0-2, guys. I know you guys saw my headstone. It said week 1 in the last episode. I'm right back there, but there's progress. So, is it 60? Nah. Did I break 100? No. But I am on the road to greatness. Don't doubt me for a second. I'm coming for him next week. Jonathan Taylor decided, my running backs decided to show up. 15.5, 14.8. Brock Purdy with another 14. Bend over, he beat me 119. He had Chris Godwin at 24, J.K. Dobbins at 20, and Jahmyr Gibbs at 17. It looks like the running backs finally decided to show up in my game. And then, like I said, talking about the Cardinals before, Joe Foreign, shout out to Joe. He had a fantastic game with 185 points in a W against Campa down the cup and Alex. Marvin Harrison with 29, Kyler Murray with basically 29, and then Malik Neighbors with basically 29. So he's killing them right now. But that doesn't mean that players on Alex's team didn't go off. We got Alvin Kamara with 44, Zay Flowers with 22, and CeeDee Lamb with 19. Not like us. Petey also not having too hot of a game against Brandon. You got Calvin Ridley with 24, and then the other two highest are Ramondre Stevenson with 17, and Brian Robinson Jr. with 14.6. Now, Brandon's team is looking a little scary. Let's pull up Brandon really quick. Let's see if it shows me week 2. Alright, yep. Okay, so you got Nico Collins dropping 27. DJ Moore dropping 11. I know that, what's his name? Keenan Allen is also going to be out, so that might be good for DJ Moore as well. You got Joe Burrow dropping 18. I mean, and the Saints are obviously being the Saints right now, so I have no reason to believe that Brandon isn't going to be successful in the near future. His kicker also got him 20. That helps, the greatest. So I think that's going to be good. James Conner, like I said, the Cardinals went stupid, dropped another 19.4 on him. I think the win of the week is going to be a lot harder than I thought this week. But let's just ride right along. You got Obi with his first W at 126.88. Achane with 29.5. Word around town, and I'm not throwing anybody out there, but it seems like the world has been interested in acquiring Achane from my good old friend Obi. He's going to be on next week to talk a little bit about that, but I'm really excited to see whose dirty laundry is out there, so to speak, because I have been getting some reckless trade requests at Albert. So let's just move right along from that. Saquon Barkley with 17.6. Drake London with 17.4. You got Jalen Hurts with 23.82. Rashee Rice with 18.5. And Derrick Henry with 16.6. Probably the closest game of the week. So I'm going to say that Obi's win is going to be win of the week. I'm sorry. I take that back altogether. I'm not looking for the closest. I'm looking for the best. So if you're looking for the best win of the week, it has to be Joey. I'm sorry. I correct myself. We're going to take a look at Joey's team. Malik, like we said, 29, 29, 29. Not to mention James Cook with 28.5. Not to mention Breece Hall with 24.4. Not to mention the Dallas kicker with 17. I mean, his team went absolutely bonkers. And then he has Kendrick Bourne on the IR. Don't blame him. I think that fantastic week. Almost touched 190. Great job by Joey. Talking about shooting off for last at Albert. Did he put up more than me? 0.46? He did put up more than me by 0.3. I'm actually, because of points and I'm 0-2, I'm dead last in my own fantasy. Hate to see it, but I'd also hate to see myself in clown makeup. So I'm not done yet. Don't count me out. You got you got Albert with 20.9 from Rashid Shaheed, Devontae Smith with 20.6, and Kyron Williams with 15.2. I could assume that Kyron Williams' fantasy value is probably going to skyrocket because of the injury of Koopa. Cooper and Puka. Koopa. So, and then Noel with Justin Jefferson with 23.3, Cherry McBride with 18.7, and Pacheco with 16.1. Pacheco's going to be out probably for the next 5 weeks or so. So I want to see how Noel is really going to scramble as far as his running back team. I want to see what his team looks like, actually. He's got Kenneth Walker, but also as a D. He's got Jalen Ray. Might not get a lot of playing time. Oh man, it might be the struggle bus for Noel coming after this. So definitely want to see how that one goes. You got Kelvin with 108 losing to Bijan Mustard. David at a casual 2-0 in this fantasy league with DK Metcalf at 28, Devontae Adamson 26, Lamar Jackson with 16. All those laughs and jokes about David's draft strategy, you got to give him something. He's undefeated right now. Is there anybody else who's undefeated? Brandon's undefeated. All right, so you got two teams that are undefeated. You got David and Brandon. Kudos to them. Kelvin had Amon-Ra with 22, George Kittle with 20.6, and Chris Olave with 12.8. We're going to see how that one goes. But I'm sorry, we're not going to see how that one goes. This is the recap. Now we're going to see how the things go in the future. Like I said, I already am recording past Thursday Night Football, so I can get a little bit into this. The Jets, the New York Jets, man. The last time that the Jets beat the Pats on the first go-around of the divisional game was 2015. I'm going to tell you a little story. That is probably the team I fell in love with and decided to be a Jet fan. That was, you got Ryan Fitzpatrick, Brandon Marshall, Eric Decker. I think on that team also had Chris Ivory, who was going crazy at running back. That might have been like maybe the last couple years of Darrelle Revis before he retired. Things that just... everything was lining up. I feel more so like we didn't make it to the playoffs that year because Rex Ryan had like a vendetta out against the Jets. He was coaching the Bills at the time. We would have made the wild card if they didn't beat the Jets in the last game of that season. It's a touchy moment, as you see. I get choked up, but I think that there's no Belichick to worry about. There's no Rex Ryan to worry about this go around. This game was the most comfortable I've been watching a Jets game because, as all Jet fans know, watching a game like that has you at the edge of your seat, and I'm not talking about last week's game. I'm talking about any gaming experience as the New York Jets versus the world. You're usually fighting to get that win. This one, had my feet up, could have put a little umbrella in my drink, feel me? I felt like I was in Hawaii for a second. I was cruising, and it only made it feel better that it was the Pats. Obviously, if I'm talking to you from knowledge perspective, we can only take this game so far because the Pats are supposed to be ass. That's the truth. They're supposed to be a bad team. However, the Patriots have been so intimidating of a team for such a long time when it came to the Jets that this win felt amazing. Got Aaron Rodgers with 281 passing yards. Braylon Allen exploding and what is looking like going to be a very, very important part of the Jets' running scheme with 55 rushing yards. He had 2 touchdowns last week. He was involved this week, the head rushing leader. I said it. Week 2, he had those 2 touchdowns. I said, he's going to split this workload with Breece Hall. Everybody was looking at Breece Hall like public enemy number 1 in the running back room for the Jets, but this guy's here to play, and he's not playing around. Talking about someone that surprised us as well, Tyler Conklin didn't score a touchdown, but 93 receiving yards nonetheless. Aaron Rodgers looks like he's really going to turn this into something. My phone's ringing, excuse me. Looks like he's really going to turn this scheme into something. This is what the Jets are supposed to look like. All those seasons, all of them, of Jet fans being like, if only we had this, and that, we'd be good. This is what it's supposed to look like. And you know what? I'm ready to see some consistency in the W board. You got Nico is still calling me, man. He needs to get the hint. Nico, if you're watching this later, I was recording the show. My bad, bro. This is what I want it to look like from now on. This is where I want to be. This is what I feel like. Obviously, especially in New York media, enough is never enough, especially if you want to be a winning organization. But I don't want to hear any more hype. I don't. I want to see results. You know, as someone who puts himself on camera, you'd think I don't like to hear talk. I don't want to hear any more talk. I want to see some action. So this is what action looks like. 24, didn't even let him score a second field goal. The world wants my phone to go off. I won't let it. So before I jump into anything else, I want to get into some of these games coming up for this week. You got New York at Cleveland at 1 o'clock. Don't see New York going anywhere. I want to see what the backup for Cleveland looks like. I hope to God, because I have Amari Cooper, that he's a little more productive instead of Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson's also dealing with another case, which sounds like I'm making it nonchalant, but it's serious at the end of the day. I just think that the Giants have more pieces overall and a way better defense. Cleveland should win this game. Next, we got Green Bay at Tennessee. Seems like Jordan Love may play this game. That's what it's looking like. Tennessee, I'm not going to lie, and especially talking about going to last week against the Jets, I'm impressed by Tennessee. I said it during the offseason. I think that Tennessee knows something that we don't. I actually enjoy watching Will Levis play. And I don't know if it's because he has all these receivers, but he's meeting them wherever they're at. And I like it. I'm a fan. Would I buy a Titans jersey? Hell no. But if I did buy one, it'd be DeAndre Hopkins, not Will Levis. All right, so let's hop into something else. I don't really know what else to say, man. If Jordan Love doesn't play, I think that this should be a lot easier of a game for Tennessee. I could see if they had to both depend on the run game, I think it would go to Green Bay. But since now there's kind of a glimpse of like Will Levis might have a little trick up his sleeve and they can get a little creative offensively, I'm going to say Tennessee, man. Give me Tennessee. I got Tennessee on that one. The Colts at Chicago, I think this is pretty easy. Let's see how Caleb Williams is doing. Let's check his last game. They actually beat the Titans, but that was because of their defense, though. So, last game, Caleb Williams had 23 for 37, 174 yards, 2 interceptions. I don't want anyone also to say that I'm a CJ Stroud hater. I'm not. I did expect him to have a sophomore slump, and I was saying that for a minute, and that hasn't happened yet. They're 2-0. So, I don't want to take anything away, but I do want to say that I think less light needs to be shed on who I knew was good. And I really want to see what the Bears are doing. So as I dive into the Bears a little bit, he was also the rushing leader, 5 carries for 44 yards. But I think that the Colts are just so much better, man. It looks like Anthony Richardson's roof is off the charts. Jonathan Taylor's still that guy. AR5 is still looking lit. I kind of like how they call Aaron Rodgers A-Rod, but they call him A-Rich. And I like that. Sounds like a rapper. I don't know what it is. I'm feeling it, though. You got Michael Pittman Jr. It's just a team. Like, it's just at least the offense. I think the defense is also good. It seems like they usually give up a lot of points, though. That's why, like, when the Texans play the Colts, you have, like, a high-scoring game. They're both good offenses, but is the defense so ready to keep up with how intense the offense is? I don't know. I'm going to go with the Colts on that one. I think that one's pretty easy for me, actually. You got Houston at Minnesota. Another glimpse of good offenses that might not have a crazy defense. But at the end of the day, I think I haven't seen enough from Sam Darnold. And Sam Darnold has been very impressive. Like I said, y'all saw the clip. But CJ Stroud has... what's the word I'm looking for? Higher success rate. Like, if this was Call of Duty, CJ Stroud's KD is way higher than Sam Darnold's. But that's not his fault. He started as a Jet. And it's hard to say, but it's facts. I think I'm finally going to hop on the CJ Stroud bus. Give me Houston, man. I'm going to go with Houston. Even though Joe Mixon is probably going to be out this game. Give me CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans. Philly at New Orleans. Philly is interesting. I saw one of the funniest things I heard this week is I'm a big ESPN radio head. A caller called in and said, "Man, I wouldn't trust Nick Sirianni to win a Connect Four game." So I think that even though the players on that chessboard are absolutely fantastic, who's moving the pieces? And I think because of that, and because of the excitement that New Orleans is playing with right now, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. If I had said this last year, I probably would have said I was crazy. Give me New Orleans in this game. Shout out to my boy Brian, huge Saints fan. I think they're taking that W come 1 o'clock on Sunday. You got the LA Chargers against Pittsburgh. I apparently heard on ESPN, and this isn't a sponsor. I'm just like any other guy in America, bro. I get all my facts from ESPN or The Score. Just keeping it real with you. It seems like Justin Herbert had a calf injury, where you also got Justin Fields, where I want to say that their games don't really do them justice, even though they're 2-0. Even though they're 2-0, there's still a lot of question marks as far as, like, is Russell Wilson going to come back? Do you put him back in the mix when Justin Fields is hot? Do you wait until Justin Fields messes up to put Russell Wilson back in? I don't want to hear none of that. It's the Justin Fields show right here, right now, and they got to bring it while they're here. I think Pittsburgh is looking hot. I think the LA Chargers are not. Give me Pittsburgh. I got that one, no doubt. Then you got Denver at Tampa Bay. I wish the cricket was screaming right now because that's what I'm hearing in my brain. This is not even a close one, bro. Tampa Bay. Moving along. Carolina at Las Vegas. I'm going to tell you this right now. Carolina has a long way to go. And neither of those running backs are getting past Max Crosby. So, just like that, give me the Raiders. Miami at Seattle. I want to see what they do without Tua. If they can figure something out, they could be a scary sight to see. But if not, Seattle's looking crazy. DK Metcalf is still that guy. I think Kenneth Walker's doubtful, but that team is still flowing, man. It's at Seattle. No, I got Seattle on that one. And that might just be a little wink at my divisional assumptions. You got Baltimore at Dallas. Dallas just lost in New Orleans. Does that mean anything good about New Orleans, or does that mean something bad about Dallas? I don't know. But what I do know is that the Baltimore Ravens are 0-2. And you know what? This is perfect because I also am lined up against the only Baltimore fan in the fantasy. Shout out to Kelvin. I'm playing him come week 3. I'm going to get into that in a little bit. Hopefully, if the fantasy spirits are with me, hopefully because of the downturn that is the Ravens, maybe that gives me a little luck to try and take this over come week 3 and fantasy get my first W on the left box. I'm trying to figure this out, man. 425 at Dallas, though. It's kind of a punch in the gut to Dallas because obviously they wanted to secure Derrick Henry come this season, and they just didn't figure it out. So I think that Derrick Henry might have a little bit extra to try and put into this game. Give me Baltimore, man. Give me Baltimore. The story's writing itself. San Francisco at LA. LA's looking rough. San Francisco, you got Debo also on injury. Can Brandon Ayuk carry that load? What's that other guy's name? Jawan Jennings. He's also supposed to fill in a spot for a receiver. They got some missing pieces, but it looks like Kyle Shanahan is much more prepared to deal with injury than any other team in the NFL. Give me the Niners, man. King of California. You got Detroit at Arizona. If this was before the season, I would have said Detroit, no question. But Arizona is hot. It's in Arizona. Oh, man. I haven't seen a lot from Laporta. Trey McBride, out of the two, is more productive come week 3. I think this is a hot look. Detroit's used to the cold. They're going to be in Arizona in the middle of the day, scorching heat. Do I want to hop on every train just come week 2 or week 3 just because? Oh, man, it's hard, but I'm going to go with the safe one. I'm going to go with Detroit. I think that they have I trust Dan Campbell. I really, really do. So give me Detroit on that one. Kansas City and Atlanta. I don't think that Atlanta has all those pieces figured out yet, especially not how Kansas City does. Give me Kansas City. We got 2 marshmallows. No. 2 Monday Night Football games this week. Jacksonville at Buffalo. Jacksonville's looking sorry. Jacksonville's looking sorry, bro. And the truth is that I always wanted Trevor Lawrence to be good. He hasn't shown me that yet. I think Buffalo has a lot of potential. Give me Buffalo. And then Washington at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's such a weird team right now because they're 0-2. Being they lost to they lost to the Pats, and you say to them, wow, they lost to the Pats, they must be horrible. But then they kept up with the Chiefs. Joe Burrow and Pat usually play each other well, so I don't know if that's just because, like, I don't know. It says right here that T. Higgins is supposed to plan a return, so that's good for them. The Commanders aren't really anything crazy to worry about, but I also like Jaden Daniels. Man, I gotta take a extra sip. I'm talking my head off right now. We're only at a half hour in, so I think this is gonna be quick. I think you guys are gonna enjoy this one. The Bengals are interesting because you don't know if they're gonna go off or if they're gonna settle into this position that the Patriots put them in week 1. So, does it come up to who they're playing against? Washington? I'm going to say the Chiefs. Playing against the Chiefs woke them up. They're like, all right, we're that team. Let's get our act together. Let's put a win on the board. I am the Bengals. Give me Cincinnati, bro. So, last but not least, man, we got to talk about fantasy coming up this week, man. So, let's get into it. Jets DST got me 16 points, only allowing 3 points from the New England Patriots. You got Brock Purdy on this side of the ball against the Rams. Like I said, the Rams aren't looking too hot. Brandon Ayuk might take more of that volume out of there. Jonathan Taylor playing against the Bears. The Bears' defense is pretty good, so we got to see how that's going to go. Buffalo's defense is also pretty good. We'll see how 18 goes. Brandon Ayuk might pick up that volume. Demarcus Robinson starting at receiver for me this week. I'm so star-studded by my injuries that I can't even talk. Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua are both out, so that gives a lot of opportunity to whoever's the next guy up in the LA wide receiver room, and that's Demarcus Robinson, man. And in that same lens, that's why I'm also starting Khalil Shakir. They're kind of fighting to see who's that random guy that's going to be the guy for them. Last week, unfortunately, I didn't start Quentin Johnson, and he put up, I think 22 or 28 on my bench. And then I wanted to start him this week, and then Justin Herbert got hurt, so I don't know what I'm going to do there, but it looks like I'm definitely going to be good one way or another. Sam Laporta, I hope to God he wakes up, because got Keenan Allen with an O, got Jordan Addison on my bench also with an O. I had tried to pick up Kareem Hunt. They just made an announcement today that they're not going to pick him up from the practice squad, so I'm running a little low. Hope to God Rico Dowdle does something, but I think we're doing good. Like I said, Joe Mixon with a D on the other side. My defense did a lot better than most. I have a 70% chance to win as of fantasy right now, but you got Amon Ra, so I'm hoping Sam Laporta has a big game and Amon Ra maybe doesn't. Aaron Jones, I feel like they don't really allow a lot of running in Houston. And their passing defense is really more so what I'm worried about. But you also got Tank Dell against a horrible defense in Minnesota. It's going to be a close one, but just off of the percentile, Give me myself. I think I'm the Bengals. Like I said, I'm gonna take my first W in the left box. So we're gonna keep it moving. Two teams that are doing very well, who just dropped 185, and then the potential win of the week, undefeated in Brandon Bars. Joey against Brandon, roommates that are up against each other. You got two people right now that know what they're doing. Had Breece Hall with 18.3 already. Kyler Murray with a good lineup. Joe Burrow with a good matchup. James Cook with a good matchup. Charbonnet, don't really rely on him too much. Marvin Harrison Jr., it's just going to be a rough one, man. Because, yes, he just had an explosive game, but he was coming off a game where he really wasn't even involved. So, maybe that's a progression thing for the Cardinals. Maybe it's versatile. Maybe it's in and out, streaky production. It's only week 2. We don't know yet. Mike Evans against Denver, they have one of the best corners in the game. I could picture him having a little bit slower of a number. The same with Malik Neighbors against Cleveland, maybe a little slower of a number. Nico Collins could have a good game. Dallas Goedert, the Saints look nasty right now. And Dallas isn't even a top 10 tight end, so I don't know. I think based off of everything going on right here, I'm going to go with Brandon, man. Give me Brandon. Yeah, give me Brandon. I like Brandon's matchups better. They're projected exactly the same amount. Give me Brandon. Put it right there. You got Caillou, my neck hurts against can't put down the Cub. Someone had to put down the Cub. He's not even in the roster. Apparently, he had to put down the Cub. You feel me? So then he's going to have to probably start Tutu Atwell, which I'm sure he's not too happy about. But everybody else on this side of the ball is looking pretty healthy. Henry. So I was looking at Henry because I said before, I think he might have a good game because he wanted to go to Dallas. Devin Singletary might really not have a good game because he's in Cleveland. Cleveland's defense scares me, bro. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but they're scary to me. I think Rashee Rice is the number 1 receiver in Kansas City without a doubt. But then you definitely got a number 1 in CD and Zay. I don't know what's going to happen with Tyreek Hill. It's looking like there's a lot of minuses on this side. I'm sorry, Caillou. I love you, bro. Might have to start someone else because maybe David Montgomery might be there to save you if you don't want to play Devin Singletary. If he makes that move, puts him up here maybe, I would say Caillou, but if he doesn't do anything as the team stand right now, they have a 50-50 and he's missing a receiver. Yeah, if they don't figure it out, give me Alex, man. Sorry, bro. Next we got Noel against Petey. Good little matchup here. Baker Mayfield going absolutely stupid. I could see him having a slower game against the secondary in Denver, best corner in the league, so to say. On the other side of the ball with a doubtful in Kenneth Walker. And T. Higgins, I just said he might return, so that might be interesting. However, the Trey McBride pull-up might be really good. Travis Kelce, let's see how he's been doing. He's projected to have 3. He had 6 and 1. So Travis Kelce is not looking too hot. And Ramondre Stevenson only had 0.3. So what does it say to you about the fact that Petey is still projected to have a 57% chance of winning, and he only put up 0.3 from one of his running backs? I think it's looking scary, but I don't think it's impossible. I think that him and Kenneth Walker, I don't know. But then he's starting Carson Steele. It's a great move by Noel, actually. Fantastic move. I think Petey takes an L this week. Give me Noel, bro. Give me Noel, man. I'm sorry. I like his matchups a little more. It's rough because I don't think Travis Kelce will have a good game, but the Bears are good defensively. Calvin Ridley looked okay last week. This is hard, I gotta say. I think this one honestly can go either way. I swear. Something tells me this is going to be the watch game of the week for anyone watching. And in the fantasy, I think it's going to be one of them. You got OB against Ronnie. This is hard, man. Like, Garrett Wilson already dropped 14.3. I think that kind of saved him. Because Chris Godwin, I think, either Chris Godwin or Mike Evans is going to be put on corner number 1 in Denver. So I think that one can go either way. Jordan Mason might also have a good game. The 49ers defense might also have a good game. Greg the Leg had dropped 5 on him already. But it's close, man. I think that if... Oh, man. People keep texting me, dude. Why am I so popular? Just playing. But I like Terry McLaurin against Cincinnati. I like Brock Bowers against Carolina. I like all the matchups that are going on Obi's team this week. It is hard, though. I think this one's also hard. With Justin Herbert with an injured ankle, that might mean that J.K. Dobbins and the running team under Harbaugh might have their chance to really see what they're all about. It's hard. It's a hard one. I'm going to say... I'm going to say give me Ronnie, bro. I'm sorry, Obi. You're going to be here next week, but give me Ronnie, man. And last but not least, I think I could keep this video to 45 minutes. Last but not least, man. We got David at 2-0 against Shooting Not For Last, Albert at 0-2. Very ironic how the tables turn there, huh? You got Kyron Williams, who might be a little more involved now that a lot of the receivers are out. You got George Pickens going against the Chargers, not a bad matchup. Isaiah Likely against Dallas, not a bad matchup. The Bills defense against Jacksonville, not a bad matchup. On the other side of the ball, you got Lamar against Dallas, which could be a little hard. But if Isaiah Likely does well, that means Lamar Jackson does well. I don't know exactly how well Lamar Jackson's going to do on his legs, but I know it's going to be a good game. Bijan Robinson has to worry about the Kansas City's rushing defense, where Devontae Adams should have no worry in the world. DK Metcalf in Miami. I think he'll still be DK Metcalf. I think he had a hand injury, but he was a full participant in practice today, so I think he'll be fine. What's wrong with Michael Pittman Jr.? I think that should be the make or break. Let's see. Oh, he's questionable with a back injury. If he doesn't play, David has so much better receivers, though. If he decides last second to put someone in, let's say he decides on Jerry Jeudy or something like that, he could win this game. I actually think his odds are pretty good. Give me David on this one. I got him. And on that note, I'm going to just say that I wanted to keep this one short and sweet. There's a whole lot of good football. I want to get to watching it. Got to go edit this video. Got to go make this money. Got to take a sip one more time of this drink. Pinkies up, everybody. As always, huge thank you for anyone that has hit me up on the side, told me they like how the shows are progressing, they like the intros, they like the animations, the this and that. I love what I'm doing. I'm glad I get to talk to the people about it. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you.